It was a crisp Tuesday morning in suburban Maplewood, Ohio, when I stepped onto my back porch for my usual coffee ritual. The air smelled of fresh-cut grass, the sparrows were singing, and my neighbor's dog was yapping at nothing, as always. But something felt wrong. I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that I'd forgotten something critical. Then my eyes landed on the corner of my backyard where my reliable washing machine had sat for 4 years. It was gone. Not misplaced, not shifted, completely vanished, like some thief had spirited it away under the cover of night. I'm Samuel Carter, a 52-year-old software developer with a knack for noticing details. I spot when my neighbor, Mrs. Lee, rearranges her flower pots or when the local deli switches its coffee brand. So how did someone haul a 250-pound appliance out of my fenced yard without me hearing a thing? My first thought was that I'd arranged for a pickup and forgotten. But no, I'd bought that machine outright from a buddy who moved away. Repossessed? Impossible. It growing legs and walking off? Now I was just being absurd. I spent an hour retracing my steps. The last time I'd used the washer was Sunday evening, tossing in a load of shirts before settling in for a movie. Monday, I'd been at the office wrestling with a buggy code base. So, sometime between Sunday night and Tuesday morning, my washer had been kidnapped. No tire tracks, no scattered bolts, no signs of a break-in. Just a clean concrete pad with faint rust stains where the machine's feet had rested. I started wondering if I was losing it. Could stress make you hallucinate owning an appliance? To get answers, I called my friend Marcus, a security guard who lives a few blocks away. If anyone knew about weird neighborhood happenings, it was him. He picked up on the second ring. "Sam, what's up?" he said, sounding like he'd already downed 3 coffees despite it being barely 9 a.m. "Marcus, someone stole my washing machine," I said. There was a pause, then his booming laugh. "Your whole washer? Man, that's wild. I'm coming over. This I gotta see." While waiting for Marcus, I scoured my property for clues. My house on Cedar Lane has a tall privacy fence with a locked gate to the alley. The lock was intact, but when I checked the back door from my kitchen to the porch, I froze. Tiny scratches marred the lock, fresh ones that hadn't been there before. Someone had been inside my house. Marcus arrived, all business in jeans and a polo, his face shifting to serious when he saw my expression. I showed him the scratches, and he examined them with his phone's flashlight. "Lockpicks," he said. "Not amateur stuff either." Whoever did this knew what they were doing. The realization hit me hard. This wasn't a random theft. Someone had targeted my home, broken in, and taken my washer. But why? Who risks a felony for a 4-year-old appliance when my 70-inch TV and gaming console were right there? Marcus scratched his chin. What if they didn't steal it to sell it? What if they were using it? I stared at him. Using it? Like doing laundry in my house. It sounded ridiculous, but my predictable schedule out by 8 a.m., back after 6 p.m. made my home an easy target. Someone could have been treating my place like their personal laundromat. We searched the house for more signs. The coffee maker was slightly off its usual spot. Crumbs dotted the counter near the toaster, and I'm meticulous about cleaning. Worst of all, my laundry detergent was nearly empty, though I'd sworn it was half full last week. "Sam," Marcus said, shaking his head, "someone's been living it up in here." Then came the commotion. Aggressive doorbell ringing, like someone was trying to break the button, followed by pounding on the door. A woman's voice screeched, "Simon Carter, I know you're in there." "Simon? My name's Samuel." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Friend of yours?" "Never heard her before," I said, peeking through the blinds. On my porch stood a woman in her late 50s, clutching a laundry basket like it was a lifeline. Her blonde hair was unnaturally bright, her floral dress a chaotic clash of patterns, and her face was flushed with fury. She looked ready to combust. Marcus joined me at the window and chuckled. "Sam, I think we found your laundry thief." The pounding intensified. "Simon, you put my washer back," she shrieked. I exchanged a look with Marcus, who whispered, "This is better than TV. Open the door." Reluctantly, I did, bracing for chaos. The woman launched into me. "Do you know how long I've been out here? I've got clothes to wash, and you stole my machine." I raised my hands, trying to stay calm. "Ma'am, there's a misunderstanding. I don't know you, and the washer in my yard was mine. It's gone now, and I don't know where it went." "Don't play dumb," she snapped, jabbing a finger at me. "I'm Eleanor Thompson from Pine Street, and you know who I am. You took my washer to spite me." Pine Street was 4 blocks away. I'd never seen this woman in my life, but she clearly knew me and thought she had a claim to my appliance. Mrs. Thompson, I said, I've never met you. That washer was mine, and it disappeared yesterday. Her face turned beet red. Your washer? I've been using it for months. You can't just take it away. Marcus stepped in, barely hiding a grin. Ma'am, are you saying you've been using this man's washer without permission? Eleanor's eyes narrowed. Who are you? This is between me and Simon. Marcus's tone sharpened. If you've been trespassing and using his property, that's theft of services. It's illegal. Eleanor screeched. Theft? I'm just doing laundry. There's nothing wrong with using an available machine. Available? I said, incredulous. It was behind a locked gate in my fenced yard. You broke into my house. For the first time, Eleanor faltered, but she rallied. The door was unlocked. Marcus and I exchanged glances. Ma'am, he said, entering someone's property without permission is trespassing, locked or not. If you didn't want people using it, you should have put up a sign, she retorted, as if that justified everything. By now, neighbors were watching Mrs. Lee over her fence, Mr. Garcia lingering by his mailbox, kids on skateboards filming. Eleanor doubled down. You need to find that washer and put it back, or I'm calling the police. You're calling the police? I said, to report that you've been stealing my utilities? Marcus pulled out his phone. I'm an off-duty cop, ma'am. If you call this in, you'll be arrested for breaking and entering, theft, and more. Eleanor's bravado cracked, but instead of backing down, she went nuclear. This is discrimination. You're ganging up on me because I'm a white woman and you're black. The crowd went silent. Mrs. Lee gasped. I clenched my jaw, fighting to stay calm. Marcus shook his head. Ma'am, your race has nothing to do with this. You're a criminal confessing on this man's porch. Eleanor screamed. That's what a racist would say. Phones came out, recording her meltdown. Then a man in his 30s stormed up, carrying a soccer ball. Eleanor, what's taking so long? He bellowed. He looked like her, same sharp features, same entitled scowl. Tell this guy to put our washer back. Eleanor turned to him. Brian, he's refusing. Brian glared at me. So you're the one messing with our laundry? I'm the one whose washer was stolen from my yard. I said, patience thinning. Marcus stepped in. Are you admitting you've been trespassing to use his machine? Brian laughed. Eleanor's not my mom. She's my landlord. And we weren't trespassing. It was an available resource. Landlord, I said. Eleanor admitted. Brian rents my basement. The rental includes laundry privileges. Marcus smirked. At your house, not a neighbor's. Eleanor snapped. My washer broke months ago, and I couldn't afford to fix it. So I used his. What's the harm? You picked my lock, I said, pointing to the scratches. Brian looked uneasy. Eleanor, you didn't say you were picking locks. She deflected. I said he wasn't home, so it didn't matter. I exploded. You've been using my water, my electricity, and eating my food. Eleanor protested. Just some leftover takeout once. Marcus was laughing so hard he leaned against the doorframe. Lady, you're admitting to multiple felonies and acting like the victim. Eleanor shrieked. I am the victim. Brian has a soccer game, and his uniform's dirty because of you. Brian muttered. This isn't my fault. But Eleanor was too far gone, screaming about her laundry routine being stolen. Finally, Marcus gave her an ultimatum. Leave now, or I call this in officially. Eleanor grabbed her basket, hissed, this isn't over, and stormed off, Brian trailing behind, apologizing weakly. The neighbors dispersed, buzzing about the drama. Marcus turned to me. Sam, she's unhinged. And we still don't know where your washer is. The next morning, my yard was trashed with toilet paper and washer thief scrawled in chalk on my driveway. Eleanor's handwriting. I snapped photos, per Marcus's advice. Then he called with a bombshell. Your washer's in Eleanor's backyard, hooked up to a hose and extension cord. I was floored. She'd stolen it and set it up at her place, thinking she could gaslight me into compliance. Marcus dug deeper. Eleanor had a history: noise complaints, neighbor disputes, even stealing water from another neighbor's spigot years ago, claiming discrimination when caught. We gathered evidence, my washer's receipt, photos of the lock scratches, even utility bills showing a $50 monthly spike from her laundry. That afternoon, Marcus, 2 cops, and a recovery truck rolled up to Eleanor's house. She was waiting, screaming about racist harassment before we stepped out. Officer Hayes presented the warrant. We're recovering stolen property. Eleanor shrieked. That's my washer. Hayes was unfazed. It belongs to Mr. Carter, and we have proof. Eleanor claimed I'd given permission, but Marcus shut her down, citing her lockpick confession. Brian appeared, begging Eleanor to let it go. She snapped. You told me to take it. He denied it, saying he'd only suggested asking. The crew found my washer in her chaotic backyard, dented but unmistakable. Eleanor demanded compensation for her detergent and emotional distress. I countered. You owe me for the water and electricity you stole. Her face paled as Hayes noted utility records could prove it. Eleanor was arrested for theft, breaking and entering, and more. She screamed about discrimination as they cuffed her. Back home, my washer was reinstalled, and I added cameras. But Eleanor wasn't done. A week later, a duct-taped letter appeared on my door, written on fake law firm letterhead, demanding $600, detergent, and an apology. Marcus laughed. No lawyer would touch this. I consulted an attorney, Mrs. Lee's nephew Daniel, who confirmed the letterhead was fraudulent a crime. He advised ignoring Eleanor's threats. Then, one night, I caught her in my yard with a crowbar, attacking my washer. I'm taking what's mine, she screamed. I called 911, and she tried to flee, only to crash into my tomato patch. Officers found her covered in dirt, crowbar nearby, cameras capturing everything. Eleanor faced charges for trespassing, vandalism, assault, and more. She was evicted, Brian moved out, and her bail was set at $12,000, which she couldn't pay. Marcus later revealed she'd tried suing me through 3 lawyers. The first 2 rejected her, one reporting her to the police. The third, Brian's cousin, a prosecutor, got the full story from Brian and built a case against her. In court, Eleanor represented herself, ranting about discrimination. The judge shut her down, and she was removed screaming. She lost everything: her home, her tenant, her freedom, all because she couldn't admit she was wrong. My washer, repaired and upgraded, hummed happily in my yard, a symbol of justice served. This saga taught me that standing up to entitlement pays off. Eleanor thought she could bully me, but her own actions buried her. What do you think? Have you faced similar injustice or seen someone dodge responsibility like Eleanor? Share your thoughts below, especially on how we handle conflict and fairness in our communities. Your perspective matters. Let's hear it.